Whoa, look at all of this. Notes, quotes, ideas everywhere. We've been digging into the rhetoric of the blazing world from every angle because, honestly, there is so much going on. Cavendish didn't just imagine a world, she used that world and her own blazing rhetoric to make arguments about power, knowledge, imagination, identity, and we've been analyzing the rhetorical choices she made to shape those arguments. Because if Renaissance literature has taught us anything, it's that everything is an argument. A speech is an argument. A letter's an argument. Poems? Arguments. Even a weird, fantastical sci-fi story from the 1600s is an argument. Anytime someone tries to make you think, feel, or believe something, they're making an argument. And we've been writing paragraphs with claims, evidence, and reasoning to analyze some quite interesting arguments. But now it's time for the next step. We'll be setting out on a journey to structure our ideas into full essays. But first, we need a plan. If we want to guide our readers through our ideas, we can't just hope for the best. We've got to follow an itinerary. When it comes to writing essays, your thesis is your destination. It's the big idea you are guiding your readers toward. Each body paragraph a milestone you need to reach as you make your way toward proving that thesis is true. And the evidence and reasoning you provide? That's what fuels the journey. So, what's our mission? We'll plan an essay structure by analyzing a thesis statement and determining how each paragraph will support it. Grab your materials and let's start planning. Throughout this unit, we've been shaping our analysis using the CER structure. Now we're going to use it to help us plan a full essay. Remember that in an essay, the claim gets a big promotion. It becomes the thesis statement. This is the sentence that states the focus of the essay. Each body paragraph supports part of that thesis by making its own claim, backed up with evidence and reasoning. So a full essay? It's just CER scaled up. Let's start outlining an essay by looking at the thesis statement we're proving. Through rhetorical appeals to ethos and pathos, Cavendish invites readers to take her fantastical story seriously. So what is this essay trying to prove? Not just that Cavendish uses ethos and pathos, but how she uses them to help readers take her story seriously. But how do we structure the rest of the essay to support this thesis? Since the thesis is the destination we're leading readers to, we need to decide what milestones we'll need to hit in order to guide them along the way. The milestones are our body paragraphs, and they each support a different part of the thesis. So let's think. How many body paragraphs do you think the essay should include to develop this thesis statement? And what would each of those paragraphs focus on? Pause the video to make some notes. What did you decide? There's many reasonable ways to do this, but here's what I'm thinking. We need 2 body paragraphs, because this thesis statement has 2 clear claims within it. Cavendish appeals to the ethos to invite her readers to take her ideas seriously, and she also uses pathos to accomplish that same goal. These 2 claims can become the focus of the 2 body paragraphs, each supporting a different part of the thesis. Now that we've planned our 2 body paragraph claims, we'll think about the evidence and reasoning we'll need to support them. Let's start with the first claim in our outline. We're looking for evidence that shows how Cavendish tries to build credibility, or ethos, with her audience. Let's consider some options. Take a moment and look closely at these lines. Which 2 of these best support the claim that Cavendish is appealing to ethos? Consider what helps her seem more credible or trustworthy to her audience. Pause the video and make your selections. So what did you choose? There are a couple of great options here. Let's think through our reasoning for how they support the claim about ethos. The first quote is a great choice. Cavendish presents herself as polite and humble, qualities that help her audience feel like she's on their side. And even though quote 2 is a generalization, she's showing that she understands her audience's preferences. That's an attempt to build trust. She's saying, I know you and I wrote this for you. These kinds of rhetorical choices help her establish ethos and make her readers more likely to accept the imaginative argument she's about to present. Now let's turn to the second claim in our outline. To support this, we're looking for evidence that shows how she tries to connect emotionally with her audience. Take a moment and look closely at these lines. Each could be used as evidence to support this claim. Which one do you think best supports the claim that Cavendish is appealing to pathos? Pause the video to make your choice and explain your reasoning. Which quote did you choose? They're actually all great choices. Let's talk through the reasoning for how each piece of evidence supports the claim about pathos. Quote 1 is a strong appeal to pathos. It contrasts joy and loneliness, making the audience feel responsible for her emotional outcome. That pressure creates a strong emotional pull. Quote 2 shows vulnerability and ambition. She positions herself as a kind of underdog. This can stir admiration or empathy. Quote 3 can inspire readers, especially women, by showing self-empowerment in the face of exclusion. It connects to the emotional experience of being shut out and choosing creativity as a response. All of these quotes are examples of pathos. Cavendish connecting with her readers by sharing her personal hopes and fears in an emotionally charged way. One strong piece of evidence can support a claim, but adding more can make your paragraph even stronger. So what have we come up with for this essay plan? We started with a thesis statement and broke it into 2 body paragraph claims. We found specific evidence to support each claim and talked out our reasoning. What's missing from this essay structure? A strong introduction paragraph sets the stage. It introduces the rhetorical situation and leads into the thesis statement. A conclusion paragraph brings everything together by reminding the reader about the thesis and explaining why it matters. Now that's a well-structured essay. But not every essay is this straightforward. Let's try one more example. This time we'll work with a more complex thesis statement. Try to identify the claims you spot here. In the opening letter, Cavendish appeals to pathos and ethos to connect with her audience and gain their trust. But in the epilogue, she shifts to a call to action, inviting readers to create imaginative worlds of their own. So what claims is this making? How many body paragraphs would you need to fully support this thesis? And what would each one focus on? Pause the video to map out your ideas. Here's one approach. The first body paragraph focuses on the claim that Cavendish appeals to pathos to connect with her audience. The second, the claim that she appeals to ethos to gain her audience's trust. And this more complex thesis calls for a third paragraph to make the claim that she shifts to a call to action in the epilogue. Notice how each paragraph supports a different part of the thesis, helping the essay stay clear, purposeful, and organized. Once your structure is in place, writing becomes a matter of following the path you've laid out. In this lesson, you'll practice structuring more essays, and then next week, we'll work on actually writing a full rhetorical analysis essay. But remember, when you're headed into a world of big ideas, you don't just wing it. You plan the trip and chart a course straight to your destination.
Hey, hey.